Or hello everyone. This is Physics 2212 Lab 1 about charged tapes, and I am Jonathan Paparo. The introduction for this lab and the main ideas of it are that the charge of an object and its effect on other objects, and using GlowScript to model electric interactions. The purpose of the lab is to determine and quantify the excess charge of a piece of tape when charged using another piece of tape. The results were that like charges on pieces of tape cause repulsion, while opposite charges cause attraction, which is the same with anything. Two positive charges will repulse each other, and two negative charges will do the same. And the electric charge on the tape was 1.085 e to the negative 8 coulombs. The important concepts for this lab are Coulomb's law and Newton's second law. With Coulomb's law, we use that to find the force generated by the electric by the tape. Yeah, the force generated by the tape onto the other tape. And we would then use that to find Q, which is the charge, which is what we're looking for for the lab. We set the electric field equal to the force of gravity, and we can do that because we're using F equals ma, and we know that the acceleration is 0 since the tape is not accelerating. So with that, we can set the gravitational force equal to the electric force generated by one of the charges. The system for the model is tape B and the surroundings of tape A. And some of the initial conditions that we knew were um, the length of the tape, the width, and the mass, and the distance between the two tapes. And down there you can see what the model looks like. For the coding, we made a function to calculate charge based upon our data, and as you can see there, that is how that was done. And that is how we found that the resultant charge was 1.085 e to the negative 8 coulombs, found by running that code. The calculations that we did were the number of electrons lost, 6.78 e to the 10th, and the area of the tape was 0.0032 meters, and the atoms on the tape were 3.2 e to the 17th used. Yeah. And that ratio gives us 1 electron per 2.118 e to the negative 7th atoms. And the number of electrons lost were found because we know the charge of an electron is 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th, and we know the charge of one based upon our previous calculations, so we could find the number of electrons lost. Sources of error for the experiment were the discharge of the tape when handling, either from handling or from bumping into any other objects, resulting in the loss or gain of charge, which is another variable and possible source of error. The weight of the tape is just an estimate. We never measured it. It was more based upon the length and width. And only the gravitational electric forces are accounted for when using F equals ma and setting them equal to each other, but there are always outside forces that could be skewing the data. And the charges on the tape are different each time the experiment is conducted, which will result in variable data. So the what if and why questions. Question is, what if electrons had positive charge and protons had negative charge? What would change about the observations you made with your tapes and other charged objects? The same result of repelling would occur if every charge switches, and the forces on the tapes and interactions between the tapes would still be the same due to the rule of opposites attract and likes repel. And why is it important to handle the charged tapes as little as possible? Because the charge can change of the tape. It can either gain or lose electrons, and that will skew the data. All right, thank you.